Dude, that intro, Jay, is way too cool for me. Like, way too cool. But happy Friday and happy New Year, everyone, 2026. So welcome. We're gonna actually have a panel today, and we are just the opening act for Spencer's Art Sale coming up in an hour. So I think Jay, you're gonna bring in everyone that's gonna go ahead and chat today, and we can go ahead and get started. Honestly, if they did a full hour of promo videos, it would probably be cooler than what we're going to talk about. But hey, guys, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy New Year. How's everyone today?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, I have never seen the intro for this show before. I think I've always jumped on
isn't it?
I think I've always jumped on like 7:30, but I've never seen the beginning or the intro. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was doing a little
dance. So good.
No, that's pretty awesome. But well, real quick, from an introductory standpoint, in case anyone in the audience hasn't, don't know us or don't know our faces, and that's probably a good thing. So I'm James Siegel. I'm James S. on CAF. I'm a collector here in the. It's in Oklahoma. You know, I live here. We have a good life. It's Oklahoma. But to go around the room, we'll start with Jared. Go ahead,
Jared Simmons, and nice to be here with everybody. And I'm excited to talk about comic art, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah. Alberto?
Hey, I think everybody in the chat already knows me, and most people. So here, Alberto, the number one comic art fan, no matter what Rick might say, but he said he was not going to make it today. So I'm for sure the number one Cop fan on the chat today.
And then Mr. Larry Tunn.
Yeah, some of you know me. I haven't been on a stream for probably about a year, all 2025, because I got a newborn I got to take care of.
Right.
You probably see me on CAF, but this is the first time probably on another show. But yeah, this is the first time streaming in a long time for me.
And if you don't know Larry, he is the master of the FedEx box and the master of finding art. It's your birthday, Alberto? Happy birthday. What are you?
I think I'm 97 by now, but yes.
Every day is Alberto's birthday. But yeah, we'll try to get started, but just wanted to open it up first. Go around, how's the holiday, and let me know what was the best gift that you received from either, your family or whatever. Jared?
My family has learned well enough to know that I like to buy myself my own stuff because it's much easier. And normally it's comic art. So I bought a few pieces of comic art to welcome in the new year, and I'm waiting for them to be delivered. I'm pretty excited about them.
Can you give any hints?
Well, I'm a huge fan of John Bolton. And so there's some John Bolton pages, and I loved his early work for Bizarre Adventures. So I was just very, very lucky to land a few consecutive pages in that. So very, very happy.
Nice. Alberto?
I'm usually in the same bucket as Jarrett. I'm always told I'm very hard to buy presents for because whenever I want something, I usually buy it. And people know that I'm going to buy comic art. I better buy it myself rather than somebody else buy it for me. So I did get some clothes, some kitchen gadgets because I like to cook a lot, but nothing on the comic art side except a few things that I bought for myself.
Gotcha.
And I
What
got a
about-
great present by our own James Siegel here, who got offended that I didn't know who
Oh, that's
Poyo
right.
was, and I got the whole collection of the Chew comic, which I had never heard of before, and that book is thick, but I'm making my way through it.
Oh, how is it so far?
Good.
Gotcha. No, I got him the Chew Nomnibus edition, which was all 60-something issues of Chew in one giant book. So it is definitely something you can beat off a thief for if they kind of get in your house. It's huge.
Yeah, I've seen Bible definitely a lot smaller than that thing. So
Yeah, but this is better than a Bible. Anyway, Larry, speaking of huge.
Well, you can imagine if it's hard to satisfy Alberto, it's harder to satisfy me. So, I mean, my wife got me some clothes, but funny story is that so there was art that came in the mail like a day before Christmas. I was like, yeah, someone gave me a gift. No, she called me. I said, nobody got me art for a gift. She's like, you bought yourself some Christmas gifts. I was like, yeah, I did. it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles page that I bought off Deal or No Deal.
That's
But,
awesome. Do you share most of your art purchases with your significant others? Or do they?
She doesn't care. Yeah.
Leave it at that. We're not going to.
But she knows nobody sent me the gift. I bought it for myself.
Well, I looked at mine and I wanted to demonstrate it. And wasn't expecting. My wife bought me an old-fashioned smoker.
nice.
Oh, that's Applewood. I've been waiting to drink this drink to do the reveal. That's good stuff. All
Thanks for
right,
not
topic at
bringing it
hand.
for everybody.
What's that?
You should have brought enough for everybody.
I'm telling you, man.
Cool, James.
Brown ice cube.
Mhm.
Now, my only challenge is on New Year's Eve, we went to town on these things, and so I'm out of cherries and orange peel. We went through all the oranges, went through all the cherries.
I'm sure you can Instacart, and by the time the show's over, you'll get a new fresh supply of it.
Dude, Amazon delivers instantly.
Mhm.
But so Nick asked us to jump on here. We're basically just the warm up act for Spencer. Spencer's going to have the art sales. I know you guys, traditionally look for art sales on Friday and see what deals that Nick and the team can do. But one of the things we were talking about ourselves, and we wanted to kind of just have a focus topic and a focus discussion. And all four of us are pretty active collectors as far as searching out art and looking for ways to acquire and been in the kind of the hobby for a long time. So we just wanted to kind of do like secrets of a comic art addict, right? So what are some of the strategies that we use to find comic art outside of what you may traditionally think of? When you say traditionally, like just dealer posts or auction posts, etc. So that being said, we have kind of a general list of topics that'll be more conversational. Hey, one thing though is Nick gave us a 60-minute or 1 hour, hard stop, right? So we're not going to go drone on and on. We're just going to go over a couple. So just kind of open it up, man. And we'll start, wherever you guys want. But let's just go around the room, throw out a tip and discuss it and kind of keep going from there. So to start out, we'll start with Jared. And I think we've all, kind of put together some of our thoughts on, some unique ways that we go acquire and collect art. So we'll start with you.
Well, I think a lot of the collectors acquire art through auctions, so I'll talk a little bit about that. Obviously, the three big auction houses are Heritage, Comic Connect, and Comic Link. I think for what we do, obviously, there's other auction houses, but just those are the three primary ones. And they all have pluses and minuses to dealing with each one. And there's a difference between knowing which one is best to sell your art and which one is best to buy your art. And that depends on a lot of different factors. But some of the things that I think you should look for when you're getting into auctions, and I certainly do, is really looking at the piece and then looking at what that piece potentially is sold for, because a lot of people are flipping art pretty quick, and you can find what it sold for previously, so understand what the market is and where you're going to spend. The other thing is really set a budget. You got to come in, you got to have a hard stop. Getting caught up in the fever of auctions, which we've all done, can be very devastating to your wallet. And so you got to be careful, and so you got to research.
Heritage does 6 months credit, Jared.
Say it again.
Heritage does 6 months credit. You don't have to have any
Yeah,
wallet.
that's a pretty significant interest rate. But you know, I think that's a good point. Don't get yourself in debt. I mean, you can't have everything. And so if you really kind of or pay attention to what you want to do, you want to have a piece that you're not hot for at the moment because it's very exciting for the 5 minutes that you win that auction and you won this piece, and then it sets in about 5 minutes after that now I got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to have a piece that you enjoy, that you've got for at least the long term. And Ruben did a terrific show, and I know he's on right now. And hello, Ruben, on how often people flip pieces within a certain time frame, and you can lose money. You know, I don't do this
You
for
got to stop
investing.
the insanity, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you got to be careful that I don't do this for investing at all.
Sure.
So for me, it's lovely that my pieces have gone up in up in price, but I've never collected art because I think this piece is going to be worth X, Y, and Z in the future. That's another thing that you got to be careful of, not to get into that hype of this is the hot artist or this is the hot comic book, because there'll be a lot of demand. The price will go up, and truthfully, stuff cools off. It goes in cycles.
As far as I guess I'll open this to everyone. As far as like when Heritage changed their buyer's premium fee, I personally saw kind of a shift in the type of art that we're seeing on Heritage. The Heritage Wednesday auctions, right? I seen some of the quality actually decrease on the Heritage Wednesday because 25% buyer's premium. So I don't really focus on Heritage Wednesdays as much as I did for an acquisition standpoint. You know, signature auctions are still killing it. So you mentioned auctions, like you know, throw it up. But how do you guys, like, if you're looking for like certain price points, or what's your strategy around kind of focusing on auctions?
You mean how we bid?
How you bid, or what you look for, or how do
You know,
you
it
tackle it?
depends,
I want
because
to try to get more specifics than generalities, right?
yeah, and so specifically with Heritage, you know, they'll, as long as people are bidding, the auction keeps going. Whereas with Comic Link, they're like a very hard stop, and I think that's a huge mistake because there's people who would bid higher, and there's people who they don't market their auctions well at all. You have to put
They
in
don't.
dollar bid to track the auctions, and so you know there's pluses and minuses. But with Heritage, you have a much higher, like you said, buyer's premium, seller's premium. So you have to figure that into your cost. You know, and I think that's something that people need to be aware of. You were just talking about that. That's 25% more than what you won that auction for, not to mention potential taxes and shipping. So and I know a lot of collectors who are pretty savvy do figure that stuff in there, but you know, how you bid is in an auction that can keep going for forever. I wait until you've weeded out most of the people. Why would I bid myself up? So I wait until most of the bidding is done. When I see it percolating down, then I'll make a bid.
Yeah, and I'll say that, and I see it too. And I think most people are pretty familiar from an auction standpoint. You know what the three major auction houses and more kind of represent, but like, is there anything specific that you do when it comes to approaching auctions that maybe collectors, from a general standpoint, would like to know?
What do you mean? I don't know.
Go ahead, Larry.
Define.
Oh, you're on mute, Larry.
Larry, jump in.
No, I think some of us ask our friends not to bid on it because we're going after things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
We try.
How do you do that?
Well, that just comes from networking. Know who your friends are and know who has similar interests in you. I will say that someone just posted a Arthur Adams or X-Men piece, and I was the underbidder, but I actually know the guy, but I never got out. I didn't reach out to him. We could have probably negotiated beforehand in terms of one of us probably would have backed out if for the other person probably would have been me who backed out, but. Yeah. I think you need to talk to your friends and talk to other people who have similar interests. Say, hey, we're going after this. Are you going to bid on it? If so, which one of us is going to back out? So
100%. I'll tell you, one of the things I was going to kind of address and approach is, how to build a reputation, how to build visibility, and how to build, a network within, a comic art community, right? And I'm not talking about general, and there's a lot of things that, we talk generalities and high-minded topics. I want to talk specifics, right? So, for example, value the reputation that I've built within the comic art fans community. I'll just tell you specifically some of the things that I've done that you may want to take on. You have to be active and you have to be known. So some of the ways that you're active and known is, everyone knows Marcus, right? Why do we all know Marcus?
Because
he's
annoying.
Well, by the way,
On cast.
besides, what's on his rap sheet, right? That's easy to find out, by the way, if you want to look up Marcus Way on California Highway Patrol. But he comments, right? He interacts with the collectors on CAF. He sends messages and the things on the chat too, and I do as well. Like, so if you put your art out there, if you become visible, a lot of times when I see people that collect or post a piece of art that is similar to what I collect, how many guys have ever sent a DM or a CAF email to someone who posts something that maybe, that's along the lines of your interest, right? Hey, congratulations. That's a phenomenal piece. I sent the comment, but I also sent a personal message, right? So you send these personal messages and you start building a network. You start becoming a known quantity. And what that does, and you guys, I love to hear your comments on that. If you're known as the 80s, 90s X-Men guy, or the Captain American guy, or, someone who appreciates, certain art, and you build those networks, they reach out to you. How many people? I'll just ask. How many guys have gotten direct messages? So start with Alberto. How many direct messages have you gotten about cap art?
I mean, I get them all the time, and I get reached out to whenever somebody's considering. Many times they start with, "What do you think this piece that I have that I'm considering selling might go for?" Which sometimes I feel like is a way to fish for an offer from me anyway, so they don't have to sell it. But not only that, but to your point, just building that reputation. I see that Jason here is on the chat, but just getting out of nowhere, Jason reached out to me after talking to Paul Smith and saying, "Hey, Paul Smith's considering selling that Falcon cover, right? That has been in his with Paul Smith since the 80s, and he knew it was probably something that would be up my alley, and they reached out to me. And to me, those are the networks kind of and the connections that you're talking about, right?
Let
When
me ask
somebody
this,
knows,
Alberto.
what?
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that collect cap art.
Mhm.
Like, why did they reach out to you? Like, why is your network there? Like, what did you do?
I think a lot of it is to your
Make it
point,
count.
building the visibility in a lot of these shows, but also knowing that you're going to be pretty serious. I'm not going to be the one that if somebody posts a piece for $500, I'm going to be like, I'll offer you $100 and lowball you and be the annoying guy potentially
That's more
that.
Jason, right?
Um,
Not you.
Well, I won't name names, but they know that I'm gonna be usually upfront and just gonna give a yes or a no. I'm not going to be one that says I'm gonna pay you. Just give me 3 months to figure out how to pay, and I'll pay you or whatever. I'll usually just go ahead and can be trusted and follow through, and I'm open and provide feedback and can be dependable in a way. Sometimes to the point where it becomes annoying because you end up being targeted, as we all know in a lot of these shows, which is like the moment there's a cap piece is like Alberto, and it's like, no, I'm not buying any piece just because it has cap in it. I probably did at the beginning, but not as much anymore. But a lot of it is, just people knowing what I collect, people knowing what I pick up, people seeing me in these shows, people seeing me post on CAF, and just kind of building that reputation where it's like, I know he can probably be a good person to reach out to if I have a piece to sell. And to me, those things matter. And knowing that I'm not going to be one that if you reach out to me, I'm just going to ignore you, because I've reached out to a lot of collectors only to then end up in a black hole of communications because they never answer back or get back to you. And maybe it's because they're not on CAF, they don't check their CAF mail all the time or whatever, but just having the courtesy of just responding and engaging in the communication, even if it's just to say I'm not interested or something like that, but just being an engaging person, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. You know, you kind of see messages on different Facebook groups and everything like, you know, why can't I just block all messages? Or and that's fair if you want to do it, but don't get me wrong. But you know, people get annoyed that collectors reach out and ask if a piece for sale, right?
Mhm.
I never get annoyed. You can always say no, but my advice is to always respond politely back, unless they're just an asshole or a jerk. But if they're not a jerk, just say, "Hey, it's not for sale, but I do appreciate you reaching out," because you just never know the next time, or they may offer you something, right? So politeness, reputation, follow up as you can manage is always important. You know, Larry, you're known as kind of an asshole. So how do you build some?
What?
I kid. No,
How do
you're
I-
darling. No, what are
Well,
your
I will
thoughts,
say
man?
that-
How do you
that
build your
Alberto's-
reputation?
Alberto is in a very unique position in terms of, I mean, he's known as the cap guy, and he's known as, you know, guy who'll pay top dollar for the best pieces, and so he probably
Top dollar.
so he has the attention of a lot of the top collectors and top dealers. So, I mean, I'm sure Alberto gets offered every week by some of the dealers say, "Hey, I got a new cap art, and yeah, this is the price, you want it." So Alberto has to show some restraint in terms he can't buy everything,
Yeah.
but he is in that unique position in terms of a lot of people go to him first if they find something that they have something that he might like. So.
Let me ask this
I
question.
would like to just chime in just real quick. The other thing is that, you know, and me, and to talk about pricing, I've called James. If I want to get an idea on what something's worth, because these are the only ones in existence of what they are. It's kind of hard to figure out a value sometimes because you can have something by the same artist from the same book, the same characters, in slightly different layout of the pages, or it's a title page, or it's a splash page, and the value is just all over the place, and you can't kind of figure it out. Having friends that you can call and say, "Hey, what is this worth?" or "Can I talk to you about this piece?" and that's invaluable. And I just want to say one thing. There's a question in the chat that I wanted to point out because I think it's a good question. It says, for the beginning comic art collector, what's the best way to store a smaller amount of pages? And I would just say an Itoya.
Yeah.
And the large amount of pages is the same thing.
No problem.
A bunch of Itoyas.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
just
All you do is
real-
go buy a page from Anthony. He'll give you a free one.
yeah, exactly. But the other thing, I just want to go back to what I was saying real quick. Having friends in the hobby is the best part about this hobby.
Yeah.
Because we all like all the same stuff. We like comics. We like the same kind of movies. For the most part, we all have the same kind of interest. So you have people that are aligned with what you think, and that's the best part of the whole thing. I mean, I don't care. The comic art comes second to me. I love it, but you know, I like the friends I've made way more. And they call you, and I think Larry said a really good comment. I've got friends who collect the same stuff I do, and if they tell me, Jared, I was thinking about bidding on this, because they told me first, I'm hands off, and James knows this. I will not bid on a piece, even if I really, really want it. If a friend calls me up and says, Jared, you know, I don't want this. I mean, I'm going to go after this. I like having my friends get stuff that they like, and it makes it fun for me. So I won't be a jerk like that. And that's the problem with the hobby. We're so small. James found this out. Again, I'll use it as an example the hard way. You can do deals with people who are assholes and go backward on their deals. And so having a reputation in the hobby as somebody who honors their deals and will always most of the time do the right thing is important to the collectors. It's important to the dealers, and it's important for you. Because you will not get the pieces that you want. People won't call you. People won't say, "Hey, I've got this for sale. I know you wanted it before," if you have a bad reputation. So I think reputation, to Alberto's point, is one of the most important things you can have in this hobby.
Yeah, and I think real quick, before we get to this question from
Yeah.
Jason, I'll go back to something that Ruben was saying also, which is just being sociable and just being on the chat on these shows. Yes, there might be a lot of other cap art collectors or other people that are interested, but just being
Don't be a dick.
around available just makes you be top of mind whenever somebody thinks cap is like, who's that annoying cap guy that's in every show on the chat, and they think me and they reach out to me, as opposed to somebody who might have a great cap collection on CAF but is not very visible, so you don't know how active they are or how approachable they are. And just being that top of mind, I think, definitely helps a lot. In this world. And I'll be remiss to say, because Marcus has been complaining like he always does, I did have a gathering at my place, and I forgot to mention that he did bring me some pieces of art as gifts as well, including a beautiful Mannix sketch cover that he did, as well as some pieces. So I didn't want him to feel left out. That happened before the holiday, so I kind of had punched that aside and forgotten it as part of the holidays. But yes, he did give me some art as well.
So everyone say thank you, Santa Way.
Yeah. You just give it for everybody, for all your guests. You had like about 12 guests.
I gave something to everybody that came in.
He's the host, Larry. So
Yeah.
that's prominence, right?
Yeah.
I will tackle Jason's question, but the one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and we'll start with you, Larry. Like, let's talk tactically. Like, we all look for art. We all look for art daily. So, what are your kind of strategies, or like, walk me through your day from a comic art search perspective? Like,
I'm the wrong person to ask about this, just because I've been lazy the last couple of years. I got lazier and lazier. I'll be honest, the best tool is actually the keyword search in CAF. So I probably shouldn't tell you all this, but yeah, use a keyword search in CAF, and it tells me everything that comes up. And a couple times I pulled the trigger, but it's for the most part I've held restraint. But I mean, those are so many leads from that CAF keywords. So yeah, get your premium membership. That's what I'm saying. That's worth it.
That's a good point. I'll tell you, like, so when I walk through on a daily basis, I've got browser tabs. So one of the browser tabs I have is eBay, and it's an eBay tab that's saved to a search. It's original comic art search with a dollar value set at $175 or greater. So I can click on that tab. I can instantly see all the comic art that's been listed so far, newest to latest, of all of $175 greater. And the reason I do 175, it eliminates about 20,000 pieces and keeps things that are, probably within the realm of what I'm looking for. The other tab that I have that I click from a browser perspective is Comic Art Tracker, new comic art search. So I can click on that tab and I can see all the dealer art posts and all the location art posts that are instantaneous that day. And you get good at knowing what dealers or sites have comic art that you would be interested in looking, right? So, I'm just gonna set up. Anytime I click on it and I see Coach comic art, COCK, I instantly go to that and click on it, because a lot of it's old, but they will post stuff that is very, very priced very, very well. And I've gotten like an Assad Ribic House of M cover for nothing. I've gotten 4 or 5 pieces from Coach Comic Art for nothing. I'm just telling you guys all my secrets, right? So Comic Art Tracker, that's a browser link, and it's to new comic art search on there. You guys can kind of set it up on there. The other tab that I do have CAF new comic art, and I'll click on it and look for all the red for sale ribbons instantly. So I can see all the for sale. So, at a time of a day, I'm just telling you, like, from a search perspective, I'll go through my day, and if I'm on the computer or randomly browsing, I'll click on those 3 tabs, and I'll see about 85% of the comic art that I'm interested in instantly, and instantly showed up. So I'm able to grab stuff a lot quicker than most people out there. So just kind of let you know how the browser tabs are set up, and so it makes sense, man.
I think your eBay way is that's a lot of dumpster diving. Even if you're.
However, if you got to change the dollar amount, that eliminates so much just junk. All the cheap.
That's not high enough. That's a lot of garbage you're going through.
But I've gone.
Yeah, it is. A lot of stuff you're talking about, James, you can do with, they'll send you emails. So, I mean, probably not as fast as what you do, because you got to wait for the email to be generated. But like Comic Art Fans sends out an email, I think twice a day with.
That email, Jared, that email's crap. Don't take me wrong.
I've gotten a lot of stuff off of it.
The want list keywords, make sure you're on the app. You have your 50 want list keywords, because those are instantaneous. If you wait for that Comic Art Fans email, it's already been an hours. And
no, but that's what I was talking about. Yeah, you got there before I did. That it'll send you out a link with this, or when pieces are posted that meet your search or your criteria for something you're looking for, it sends it out really fast. And so I like that part of it, because I don't have time, to be fair, to be clicking on links all day. that's just not,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the way my life works.
Yeah,
But
I'm an
there
addict.
was another question I wanted to, just because I'm monitoring the comments a little bit. It says, can each of you say why something you've done? Can each of you say something you've done wrong during your original art journey?
Go ahead, Alberto.
I never do anything wrong. What are you talking? Just kidding.
He's
I would-
immaculate saint of comic art.
You
No,
did
I would
great.
say the main thing that I've done wrong, and I think a lot of us did this when we started collecting published art in particular, is we think art is more scarce than it really is, and we end up just buying and jumping at too many things, afraid that we're never going to see another comparable pages, and we're not necessarily as discerning. And I bought a lot of things that I probably now would be like, why would I even bought that? It was just like, because every piece that had cap in it, I was just trying to make a deal for it. And over the years, you realize that there's hundreds and hundreds of Sal Buscema cap pages that go for sale on any given month, and that they're not as rare as you really think they were at the beginning. So I think a lot of is more desperation and pulling the trigger too quick.
Would you chalk that up more to experience and FOMO?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, done wrong is jumping and spending too much money without having the experience or even the network to run things by at the beginning. That now I try to control myself a little bit more, I think.
I think
You,
for me,
Larry?
it's probably not either not knowing you can negotiate. And I think that was a big one to learn, that you can negotiate. And I think that the other thing that you need to do is understand the terms, like understand the difference. And even I get confused sometimes on the difference between a blue line, because it can be blue line pencil or it can be a printed blue line, understanding what that means, because you need to understand what you're buying and, you know, what these one of one prints mean. Because I've gone to many times where I think that piece of art's really, really cool, and I realize that it's digitally created, because now I understand it. So people can get caught in those traps every now and then. I mean, that's obviously an experience thing, but I would spend some time kind of understanding what the technical jargon is of the hobby that you want to spend money in.
And read the descriptions very carefully, especially when you're looking at the big blurbs sometimes that are posted on Heritage or on any of the auction sites. It can be easily overlooked what pieces are stats or what pieces might be damaged. Things might be what might be recreation. So probably, yeah, to that point, it would be read as much of the description and ask questions, because you could end up with a piece that's all stats without realizing it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there are regrets and there are mistakes. So I mean, I think the longer you're in this hobby, you're definitely going to have some regrets. But I would say one regret was, yeah, I could have had that Jim Lee swimsuit splash in 4 figures.
I remember it was on eBay, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't on eBay. I knew the guy who had it, and yeah, I could have had it for 4 figures, and then I realized, that's not the Jim Lee example I want, so I passed on it. Dumb me. Now I still don't have a Jim Lee X-Men page. So that was one regret. It went for $87,000 on Comic Link a few months ago. Jeez, what a dumbass I was.
Yeah.
So there was
You say that, Larry,
regrets.
but all you got to do is jump on your calf and look at your FedEx boxes. There was a lot of smart decisions you had. So yeah, you missed one, you regret one, but you did all right.
Yeah, and I will say, ever since the beginning. So I've been on Heritage for a while. I wouldn't say from the beginning, but because the way Heritage is set up is that sometimes the pieces that I really want, like my number one goal, was always like near the end of the auction sometimes, and so I had to pass on some great deals to try to chase after the big pieces at the end. Sometimes it was a big piece, but so I remember. So I was going after a Stephen Platt double page splash that was like near the end of the auction. but I had to pass on like $2,000 Arthur Adams covers. That sucked so bad. It was like I had to pass on it because I got to save my bullets. I got to save my bullet. I don't know how this splat. I still lost on the splat. So at the end of the day, I won nothing, and I passed on all of this great Arthur Adams pieces. But that's sometimes that's how it goes when I go in the auctions.
Yeah, so a little trick, right? So Arthur Adams, AA, right? So his pieces always come up at the very, very beginning of every single auction. And especially on something like Comic Link, where they have a dead drop, like they don't do extended bidding. Sometimes Arthur Adams pieces on like a Comic Link go really, really cheap because people are still at work or doing other things. They don't realize the auction start. And those things have already started hitting. Just throwing it out there. We've seen that kind of play out.
Yeah, the same thing happens with Mike Zeck. I hate waiting all the way till the end of the night for a Mike Zeck.
So does everyone else.
But sometimes people are just worn out, and after spending 12 hours on a heritage auction, is like calling it a night, and you hope that people have gotten tired by the time Zeck comes up. But
yeah, I got a really good deal on a Lee Weeks piece because kind of the end of the alphabet type thing.
Yeah.
So James, what's your biggest mistake? I think I know it, but you can pick something else.
No, it's a combination of what you guys have said. Mine is mostly comes down to instantaneously buying on emotion. Like I will see something posted, and I will have the somebody's on YouTube. You got to mute it. I will have the instant FOMO, and I will go buy a piece at a price listed with no negotiation. You mentioned negotiation, Jared. Where I probably shouldn't. And I did it recently on a Cave Woman piece. And it wasn't a terrible deal, but it wasn't a great price, if that makes sense. But I saw it posted. I know Bud Root's art is hard to come by. And I paid a price where I did some research post-buy. I'm like, God damn it. I spent probably about 50%, 40% too much. Now I like the piece and I'll keep it. And it wasn't a bank breaker or anything along the or along those lines. But it's I've gotten a lot of good pieces by jumping on them instantaneously. But I've also taken a step back. And there's a couple guys like Jason D'Ambrosio. I'll even say his name, but Brian Lake. If you guys know Brian Lake, he is the master of. And I'm going to say this in a positive way of grinding people down to getting the deal that makes sense. Like I have to learn from Brian Lake on how to understand what price I'm willing to pay and just not do it. And then so many times he's acquired the art at that price because he's just, willing to say there's other art out there. I just wish I had that skill, but I get emotionally involved versus businessly involved or economically involved, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I will admit, James.
Go ahead. I was just saying, I was going to contradict what I just said and what everybody else just said. Sometimes there's a piece that you really like and you really want it, and if you really, really think you want to do it, I think you pay top dollar for it.
And then you end up suing the person
you don't
you bought it
negotiate,
from.
you just get it.
Wait.
Yeah, because if you take time and it's a nice piece, somebody else is going to, get on top of it to the point. A lot of this hobby is being first in line, being the first one to get there. So if you screw around, you negotiate too much or screw around, and do stuff like this, you're going to lose that piece. So sometimes you just got to just bite it and pay whatever they're asking for it and take it.
Yeah, what I was going to say is one thing that I still personally struggle with in this hobby is negotiating when I'm dealing directly with artists. I think when it comes to Berkey or Anthony or Bashara, yes, you can you can try to get discounts, try to make lowball offers, but I just can't get myself when I'm dealing with an artist directly and I ask them for a piece and they tell me what the price is. I find it hard to be like, no, I don't think your work is worth as much as you're telling me it is, because it feels like I would be insulting the artist. So that's one of my main struggles. I usually buy stuff from the artist at whatever price they end up telling me because I just can't get myself to negotiate against them.
I'll tell you that. Go ahead, Larry, if you had a comment real quick.
That instance.
Alberto, you just got to just make an offer. That's all. You don't have to say good value. Just would you take 5,000 not instead of 6,000? Just say that.
Yeah, and sometimes you want to buy another piece. I mean, if that's the case, sometimes I'll say, even if it's a piece I don't really, I mean, I like it. Okay, if I think I can use it to get a package deal, which overall makes my cost go down, I'll do that.
Along
So,
that lines,
there's ways
Alberto.
to-
Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
No, I wasn't done. Sorry.
I was going to say, along those lines, Alberto, it's one of the things that we had listed, right, as we did a kind of a brainstorming. You mentioned buying art from the artist directly. So one of the ways, and you can talk to it too, because you mentioned the artist, of acquiring art that you want is building relationships with the actual artist. So if you want to talk to and kind of open the discussion, like how do you start the process of building relationships with artists that you appreciate their art, right?
I mean, a lot of them is following them up directly with them on social media, right? Instagram. So many of the artists
Huge.
just post pieces in there, and it's very easy to like or post comments on their art, even if you're not interested in a particular piece. But just again, build that presence in there. And when they post something, I have gotten a few pieces when they post on Instagram saying, hey, I'm working on this is work in progress, where I'm like, wow, that looks great, would you be interested in selling it? And I've gotten many times good responses from that approach. I picked up this EMGist zombie cap piece that he did. He hadn't even finished. He's like, I can sell it to you for this much, but I haven't even put a coat of varnish on it yet, and you're gonna have to wait for it to dry, so I can give it to you in month and a half, but if you really want it, it's yours. And trying to jump in early on some of that stuff, but a lot of them don't go through reps anymore. That model of you having to go through a rep doesn't really work if you're interested in new modern art. I know a lot of us like the 80s and 90s, which can be a little bit different, but for new artists, social media to me has been huge and successful in communicating and connecting, and then just building the relationship where I've had some artists being like, hey, I worked on another cap piece, do you want to see it? And they show it to me and purchase it from there on, where you even become top of mind for some of those artists. So.
And I'll tell you, like on the Instagram and everything, like if you're following an artist that you appreciate their work, the messages and everything and the likes are phenomenal, but really just send a direct message. Says that last piece you posted on your Instagram is absolutely gorgeous, and that's it. Just leave it. Don't ask to buy it. Don't ask to do anything like that. And you just kind of differentiate yourself and separate yourself from the masses, and they start to become familiar with you, start to become comfortable with you, and then you can start building the dialogue and reputations. Politeness, being generous, being thankful. It goes so far, and not just art and acquisitions, but just life in general. But we're not going into life lessons. Larry, you have to be nice. You have to be polite.
I'm a good actor, man. I can pretend to be whatever.
Are you that good of an actor, Larry? Are you?
I mean, Alberto, you just gotta pretend to be poor. I can't struggle $4,000. It takes me 2 months to make that.
Help me, sir. I need some art, right? Speaking of social media, I'll open up to you guys. So what are the Facebook sites that you guys subscribe to? For example, I've got the Deal or No Deal site, the Comic Art, Original Art Buyer Sell Trade Group that has 6.1 thousand people within that sales site. Original Comic Book Art for Sale Facebook site has 13,000 people. So how do you guys approach sales or acquisitions from a Facebook perspective?
That's I'll tell you a scary story. So there are scammers going around in the Deal or No Deal site. And, and I actually got burned. So this is talk about a mistake. A guy, I really liked the piece. Contacted me through Messenger saying, hey, look, if you pay $2,000 for this piece, it's yours, So of course I clicked on his view profile. It's the guy who's selling it. I sent him the money, and it was to a different PayPal address. He goes, that's my son. I fell for it. Smart lawyer, still didn't matter, still caught me. And I sent the money, and then I went to the Deal or No Deal site to post that I had bought it. And on the Deal or No Deal site, it said this art had already been sold. So I contacted the guy who bought it because I know him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I bought it." And I said, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yeah." So then I figured out I'd been scammed, and I told Chris Cara, who is the moderator for Deal or No Deal. But a big point there is: do not pay via friends and family. Pay only via goods and services.
Unless you
only buy it through,
100%,
only buy it through Deal or No Deal. And if the PayPal doesn't match or there's something goofy about it, just don't do the deal. Call the guy. Say, "Hey, look, I need you to call me, and I want to verify this piece. I need you to take a picture with today's paper with it, or something to give you verification that they actually have that piece of artwork in hand, so you don't get scammed."
Yeah, I think the challenge, and you're absolutely right, 100%. I think there's a lot of, I guess, emotions that become flooding in. Like, you have to move fast. You have to be first. You have to get the payment, because it's still, if you miss out, maybe you don't have the opportunity to get it ever again, right? And so your lizard brain takes over. I don't know else how to say it, right? And so versus your logical side, and scammers are looking for that. They're looking for that person to kind of get that piece first. So yeah, I guess that's definitely good advice.
And I will say, offer yourself
Shut up,
to
Jason.
people as a reference as well, right? Many times I've been like, "Hey, if you ever want to sell something," I've had people say, "Hey, can I use you as a reference to say that I'm good to buy art from, or good to sell art or whatever?" And I'm happy if I've had good deals with people to just speak on their behalf. Because many times people are hesitant because there's a lot of scammers to be like, "Hey, I don't want to spend $6K on a particular piece from somebody that I have no idea who he is." But if they can tell me that I bought art from, or James has bought art from me, or Jason has bought art from me, and they're vouch for me, that to me is going to go a long way as well. So just building that network.
What other place in your life, Alberto, have you sent thousands of dollars to a random ass stranger that you've never met?
Mm-hmm.
I never do it friends and family. I don't know. So
I know, son of a bitch, because he sent me payment and then it took the 3% off. I'm like, we've known each other for a decade. You don't trust me after 10 years, Larry? So real quick, to answer Jason's question, and then I'll move on to the last topic. Let's see, what was this question? Somebody's on, got an echo going.
Is there an open mic somewhere?
Yeah, so on a future Nick show, I'll talk about the guy I'm suing over a piece of comic art. So that's what he wants to.
Yeah. Suing.
What do you mean you're suing? It's still not over?
All you guys know. All you guys know. But I won. But it's just going to take a while. So the last topic that I want to kind of cover and open up to you guys, and this is one where I think we all need to, kind of understand, is when you're looking, I guess when you see a piece of art and you do a cold call, in essence, a cold email to acquire a piece of art, what are your strategies around acquiring something on CAF from basically a cold call perspective? Who has YouTube on?
Not me.
All right. I don't know.
I can't hear it.
I can hear some. I can hear some feedback, but it's not me. I don't have YouTube open. Yeah, I don't know. A great way is, I think you just send a message to say, "Is it available?" or you know what works really well? You send a dollar price. See,
you do what, Larry? Who? Everyone close YouTube. Or is it speakerphone? Let me ask the chat. Chat, are you hearing an echo? Oh,
I'm hearing
hear something.
I don't hear it. It went away. All right, Jared, it was you.
Getting muted.
Jared?
My mic keeps getting muted for some reason.
Okay, now you're good now. All right, Larry, what was that? Oh, no, it is you.
Is it Jared?
It's Jared.
It is me? I don't have any YouTube. I don't have any windows open.
The meters say it's Jared, according to.
Can't argue with the meters.
I'm wondering if it's because I have another microphone. Oh, I have another computer.
Yep. If you have another microphone, probably.
All
So
right.
I would say I don't know if there's a great way. I mean, I think the most effective way is just sending a dollar amount to the other person and say, hey, would you take X amount of dollars? That's probably the best approach. I think some people are scared to do that. They're interested, but they're not. They're scared to provide the amount. They're willing. They're still also trying to get it for the lowest price, also. So they're not willing to throw the number right away when they measure somebody. So.
No, I absolutely agree with that too, especially if it's not for sale. I mean, looking at someone's comic art gallery, kind of take a strategic approach. Look at the art that they have. Look at the art that they said that they're grails. Look at the art that they post on their main gallery, right? If you're going to go do a cold call on somebody, you kind of got a general idea of what art pieces you're just going to get shot down. Right? Be a little strategic about that. But when you do reach out to them, of course, politeness makes a lot of sense. But having something like some type of dollar figure, not a lowball dollar figure, do your research, do the market price, understanding that you're reaching out to someone from a cold call perspective, put it out there, right? I mean, seriously, put it out there, at least from a basis perspective, so they know that the person reaching out to them is serious. Because we all get the random ass emails. If you ever decide to sell this, would you hit me up? And I mean, you may respond, but most of the time you don't. So, represent yourself from a serious buyer. But also, again, it comes back to known quantity, right? Do you have art in your CAF gallery? Do you have history associated with your CAF gallery? Are you someone who does comment, who does, go out to the cons and everything associated with that, right? Are you a known person within the hobby? And that makes a lot of difference. So, you have to start working on, if you're going to do call, you're going to go reach out. Damn, Jared, you got the echo, man. What happened?
It can't be Jared. He's muted.
Oh, no, he unmuted for a second.
Yeah, muted himself, and then he muted. Yeah, and that's, to me, one of my pet peeves, James, I would say, is I've been reached out before on CAF for somebody who's like, I've always wanted to have a Kirby cap piece. Please look at my gallery and see if you would want to do a trade. And you go to the gallery and all they have is like DC art and maybe a couple of Spider-Man pages. And it's like, you see what I collect. You see what's in there. What do you think that I'm going to be doing that trade? Is like, I'm sorry, but I don't see anything in your gallery that I'd be interested in trading for. But it's like, know how to reach out and know what to offer. I'm not going to go and offer somebody cap art if all they're interested in is in DC art. It would be like, why?
If it's a cold call, do your research. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, don't offer CGC books. I don't give a shit about that. Don't offer CGC books or statues. I mean, that's just not the same.
No, in our little group, I got offered for a cable piece, a random Batman 9.8 CGC book signed by somebody. I'm like, and then our Aranga, he got offered a Captain America statue for art. And we're like, where are you coming from, man? What are you doing? We all talk. So,
is that better?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, figured it out. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say, that you just said it exactly right. People, like, I just had a guy reach out to me about 2-3 months ago asking to buy my Killing Joke page, and he goes, "Would you take $4,000 for it?" And you're like, going, really? You've done no research whatsoever.
How did you respond? Say,
no, I said, look, I always try to be very respectful, because I know people. I try to be nice. I just said, look, I appreciate the offer. It's not for sale, but I think that you should do some research on what the price is, because that could be insulting to somebody. That's literally what I told him, and he didn't. He never responded back. But
I give you 5,000 right now, cash.
Done. I'll be one of those guys who just takes 5,000.
I'll do 5,200.
50, there you go. 55. Hey, we're gonna start the offer for Jared's Killing Joke page at 11 cents in Nick's chat.
Perfect. Keep going. There'll be a long time.
All right. Well, the last thing from a tactical perspective, I just want to make sure everyone knows. Oh, Jared, now it came back. Comic art tips. And I hate saying it out here because it drives me crazy. Comic Art Tips, which is Francisco's newsletter. If you guys aren't on it, you need to be on it from all the eBay auctions. Why it drives me crazy is I'm always tracking an eBay auction, and I'm like, I'm going to get it for a good deal, and it shows up on Comic Art Tips like 4 hours before it closes and just blows out the auction, which drives me nuts. But this is designed, secrets of a comic art, addict. And if you're not on that email, you need to be on that email chain for anything that shows up from an eBay perspective. But that being said, we've got 4 more minutes, so I'll open up Larry, Alberto, and then Jared, and we'll all mute out. What closing comments do you got?
Well, I mean, I guess, try not to be emotional next time you see those Cavewoman pages, or
I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, if you go for that stuff, I mean, that's probably why you're on eBay so often. You got feet also. If you're into that stuff.
I don't do the feet.
But everybody, good luck in your journey. I mean, honest, I haven't bought as much as I used to have. I mean, I think I got like 1,000 pieces of art. Why do I need more? So
you need to sell, Larry. Ask Jason. Jason has some that he wants to buy from you.
Yeah. So I mean, I started using Comic Art Live more. It gives me motivated to trim down. So I've been using that more, and whatever it doesn't sell there, then I don't know. I'll give it to a dealer or something. So that's all. Everybody enjoy your rest of your comic art journey in 2026.
Oh, Larry will be at OAX.
Yes,
right? Yes,
that's right. I had to miss out last year, but I'm not going to miss out this year.
Awesome. Alberto, what's your closing comments?
My closing comments will go back to be nice to people, whether it's artists or dealers or other collectors. Be there for the community. Be ready to help, provide advice whenever anybody asks you for what you think the price is on anything. And it doesn't really cost you any money, and it's the right thing to do. And it's not only about making some great friends, which I look forward to going to OAX as well, but it's just what goes around comes around, or what comes around goes around, whatever the saying is. But just
golden rule, man.
Be nice to people, and it works in comic art as well as in every other area of life, but it definitely works on the comic art world.
Yeah. All right, mute out Alberto, and I'm going to mute too. Jared, what's your closing words?
Honestly, I think Alberto said it the best. Is just be nice to everybody. This is a really small community of people, and having a good reputation is so valuable for the information that you can get. All the tips that we just gave were to help everybody here to compete against us, to buy artwork, because that's the kind of good-natured hobby this is, I think, for the most part. And I get it that people want to compete against each other for a little bit, but don't let that cut against you for being kind to everyone. I represent some of the artists that we buy artwork from. They're phenomenal to do deals with, and yes, I negotiate with them, unfortunately for Alberto, but I like the people who are in this hobby. I like to think there's a lot of stuff to be out there. You just have to be careful, because you can spend thousands of dollars and really hurt yourself financially if you're not careful. I could never afford my collection today because I bought it so long. Most of my collection I bought so long ago that it's just gone up in value. Not because I anticipated it, but that's where you can't get into that mindset. I'm buying this because I think it's going to go up in value, because a lot of my pieces also went down in value, but I don't care because I love them. And I think that's the best piece of advice I can give you is enjoy the hobby. Don't let it become a financial risk to you. Don't do it only for the financial gain that you think you're going to get. Do it because you love it. You love these characters. You love the history that's there, and because you like the collectors themselves that are in the hobby.
Awesome, man. All right. So my
be
last
insane and hold them for at least 5 years if you plan on selling.
Stop the insanity, right?
Will beat you up.
Yep. So we actually had a whole list of different things, but we wanted to make sure we kept the show within the hour, and so we're on the hour right now. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out to us from a collector perspective, or if you want to network. But I want to say thank you for everyone in the chat. Thank you for the audience, for Nick. Happy New Year. Hopefully 2026 is phenomenal for everyone. And Jay, I think we are good. We are done before 7:01. Oh, no, it's 7:01. But take it away, sir.
Well, I mean, it's okay because doesn't look like Spencer isn't here yet. So,
oh no, we have awkward silence time.
Roll it out, James. Roll it out. Keep going.
Yeah, We're just gonna stare at the screen now. No. All right, let's see what the chat is. What do we miss in the chat, Jay?
Let's see. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, look, you put that on there now.
Everybody,
you-
make sure you like, share, subscribe if you have not already. And now, after all that, Spencer is here, but we're gonna do some promotional stuff real fast before you drop you off.
Sure. Well, I don't know if they can hear me, but thank you everyone again. All right, promo away.
Ruben Show on Sunday. I don't know if the link is in here yet, but I'll grab that before we end the show. There we go. Then you have the chat and art sale with Hillary Barta. Here's some of the artwork they sent. And there we go.
Here I am. Hello, one and all. You ready to have fun? Alrighty, we got stuff ready to rock and roll. We got all sorts of groovy stuff tonight. We got stuff as little as $50 a page, and we've got items above $7,500 up to $10,000 tonight. So we got some really cool stuff. We got some things from Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin is no longer, he's been doing commissions through Clan McDonald for the last few years. He is no longer going to be accepting commission requests. He will only draw just things that he feels like drawing, get them inked by various people, and then offer them for sale. So we have the first batch, which are really, really amazing. And the first batch ranges from $3,500 up to $10,000 for the first batch of those. But we can start right away. We got all sorts of stuff. We got Danny Mickey stuff. We got stuff from Dan Green's estate. So we got a wide variety. Regulars, blue lines, the gray lines, pencils over inks. So it's a wide variety. So the first piece up tonight, let's see if I say his name, is Ardian Syaf and Danny Mickey. This is from Earth 2. This is issue 1, page 4. There's a gray line signed by Danny. It's a beautiful page to start if you're a collector just looking to first start out. It's only $50. It's a really nice piece. By the way, any purchase that's over $200 or more tonight, or cumulative becomes $200 or more, is going to get a free autographed comic book that'll be worth at least $30 with the signature on it, at least. It'll be a free signed comic. So that's just as a little bonus for anybody buying anything. I like to give bonuses with purchases. Anyhow, so this is you claim, if you want it, you claim it by the claim number. And this is OA01. Hello, Michael Lovitz. How are you? Next is OA02. It's Alberto Ponticelli and Dan Green from Dan Green's estate, from the book Dial H from 2013. This is issue 1, page 8. It's only $100. And we got this one. And again, a nice starter page. It's all you got Hall of Masks there. Anyhow, next, that's OA02. OA03 is Ivan Reyes and Danny Mickey. This is a gray line. On Jamie Hodges here also, who's been inking Jim Starlin. She inked 3 of the pieces that are on the show. Jamie, say hello in the comments. Say hello so everybody can see your name. If we're interested in talking to you. Anyhow, this is Ivan Reyes. This is Detective Comics, issue 1047, page 5. Now, just so for people who are not familiar, if you look on Danny's page, it's in the top left corner where it says Wayne Enterprises Applied Inking Division. Anytime you see that on a page from Danny, that means the page is a gray line. Hang on. Sorry. Anyhow, so that's just a way of telling from Danny if it's a gray line or if it's over original pencils. Anyone in the top left that has the DC logo and says Wayne Enterprises is a gray line from Danny. Most everything Danny is doing these days is gray line because he's been inking over Ivan Reyes for a few years and Eddie Barrows, who live in Brazil. So everything they do is all gray line. Anyhow, next we got 0804, which is Ivan Reyes and Danny Mickey. It's Detective Comics. Again, look at the detail level on this. Is absolutely gorgeous, especially in that first panel. This is signed by Danny as well. This is $100 for this page as well. Next, we got 0805. Jesus Marino and Dan Green. This is Future's End, Volume 1, Issue 5, Page 1. This one happens to be a blue line, not a gray line, by Dan Green, the late, great Dan Green. And this is $120 for the page. Again, if anybody wants to see anything, tell me to slow down. I tend to go a little fast. Just let me know. Or if anybody has any questions, just make sure to stop me because I ramble. I'm like Nick, but in reverse. I talk too fast. Nick rambles, but not as fast as I do. Okay, next is 0806, also Jesus Marino and the late Dan Green. It's Future's End, issue 16, page 3. And that is a really nice detail. If you look at the details in the page, the scan does not do it justice. The details on this page are amazing. Anyway, next we have 0807, Robson Roca, Dan Green, Earth 2 World's End, issue 23, page 7. And look at that. You got some great details in these pages. Again, the scans do not do justice to the details on these pages. Next, we have 0808, Travis Moore and Dan Green, JSA All-Stars. This is the backup story from issue 10, page 24. Again, $120. You'll notice we start inexpensive and work our way up. It's not random, price all over the place. I sort them by price to help make everybody adjust easier. Okay, next is 0809, same story, page 28 of the same book. And again, here we got Liberty Bell, Our Man, and Johnny Quick on the same page. Again, $120. Nice for a good JSA fan. And these two pages are inks directly over pencils. These are not blue line or gray line. These are direct inks over pencils. That's for $120 as well. Next, we got 0810, which is Eddie Barrows and Danny Mickey, Action Comics. And again, issue 1069, page 3. This is a gray line. But look at the amazing details, especially in that last 3 panels. Stuff is absolutely beautiful. Kyle, is there a way to blow any of these up? Can we blow it up on detail, or we can't do that? Kyle?
I don't really have a voice.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But Jay could throw him in if he wanted to.
Okay, Jay, if we can blow it up any, like people see the amount of detail. It's like on some of the pages, like this bottom panel. Any Capuccio work? I don't think so. But if there's a way of blowing up any of these pages, you see the amazing amount of detail. Anyhow, that's 0810. We'll move forward. 0811 is Carlo Pagolian and Danny Mickey from Deathstroke, issue 50, page 17. Now, this actually is 2 pages. You can see, actually, you might want to remove me from the screen for a second. There you go, because you can see there's patch panels that come with it. So you get 2 pages for $125. You get the patch panels and you get the original art as well. These are gray line, and they're both signed by Danny as well. Next, we got 0812, Ivan Reyes, Danny Mickey, Detective Comics, issue 1050, page 5. Again, a gray line. Again, you can't tell, but that first panel's got an insane amount of detail in the textures and stuff. It's really, really good. Look at the bottom left. That insert panel on the bottom is really cool. It's a really neat, sick page. Next is 0813, Detective Comics 1059, page 8. Again, another nice, inexpensive page for $125. Highly detailed. The backgrounds are amazing. Again, good starter. These are all good starter pages for somebody who's trying to build up their collection. Jensen and Andrew, thumbs up. We can zoom now. There we go. Support Danny by picking up some art. Okay, I'm trying to read. Oh, that's what Nick wrote in. Anyhow, there we go. If you can scroll up so we can see the stuff at the top. It's like, look at the details at the top in the panels. You can see, I mean, it's just amazing detail. It's some really, really nice details in these pages. So any of that is, and that page is $125 as well. All right, next we've got OA13. And so that's what we just did, OA13, sorry, OA14 rather. Issue 1060, page 3. Again, if you can blow this up, look at that first panel. The use of negatives in that first panel is just amazing. You blow up the first panel. Yeah, look at the detail in that. And the use of negative space in that is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. In the background in the third panel, again, for making the textures and stuff of this nature. It's just beautiful, beautiful inking. So I guess that's OA14 for $125. Next, we got OA15, which is Detective Comics 1067, page 15. Again, nice page. You got a bad guy in the page. I forgot the character's name. Yes, it is. That's absolutely amazing art. I agree completely. I mean, look at the little inset panel with the automobile on the front. That looks like a photograph. This is just some beautiful, beautiful stuff. By the way, the hiccups. All of Danny's pages tonight are at minimum 25% off his regular prices. Some are as much as 50% off of the pages. Again, as I told everybody last week, Danny's got to get a new transmission for his SUV. So we're dumping artwork out, trying to get money for a new transmission. Which reminds me of this old commercial of an idiot guy going, "Gee, boss, I was about to try to fix a transmission." Well, that's what Danny's trying to do too. He's trying to fix a transmission. Anyhow, next we got OA16, Danny Mickey, Ivan Reyes, Detective Comics, issue 1071, page 7. Again, look at that first panel. That is just gorgeous detail. There's not a lot of inkers that could do that and make it look that convincing in the industry. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, look at that. That looks like a very, very old photograph. Just some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Anyhow, that's OA16 for $125. And again, that's nothing. For artwork these days, for a highly detailed page, $125 is nothing. Anyhow, again, look at the door, the glass windows down on the bottom. Again, for somebody who's just starting a collection, or if you want to give a gift, or if you want for your kid to start collecting art, you want to get them hooked. These are the types of pages to do. Very inexpensive and lots and lots and lots of beautiful detail. All right, next is OA17, which is Marco Castiello and Danny Mickey, Hawkman, volume 5, issue 25, page 14, from 5 years ago. It is a gray line, but you got lots of action, lots of detail, lots of action in it. That one is the last $125 page rather. So that's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Next, we got OA18, which is another Jesus Marino, Dan Green. This is a blue line, but you have Mr. Terrific and Aquaman in every panel. As you can see in the scribble on the bottom, Dan has signed it, which is great because Dan's dead, so he won't be signing any more art or any more comics. This is Future's End, issue 2, page 5, the first $150 page. Next, we got OA19, same creative team, same issue actually, Future's End, issue 2, page 10. This one is a blue line also signed by Dan Green, and it is $150 for this page as well. Oop, just dropped me on the floor. Excuse me for a second. Anyhow, next we got OA20, same title, very next page, issue 2, page 11. Somebody wants to get a nice set, you get 2 pages, back-to-back pages for $300 if you want them both. If somebody takes both pages, I'll drop it down. Instead of $300, I'll drop it to $250 for the set. If somebody buys both pages. Anyhow, that's 0820, 0821. Same title, issue 5, page 9, also Blue Line, but this one is not signed, but is a very, very detailed action page. Then we got 0822, same title again, issue 12, page 18, nice page of Frankenstein. Pretty sick looking pages. And that one is $150 also. Next, we got same title, same creative team, issue 16, page 13. Again, lots of action. Panel on the bottom is, you find out later in the story, that's actually Shazam masquerading as Superman wearing a mask. It's issue 16, page 13, and it is signed by Dan Green. And that one is $150. That's OA23. What a blue line. A blue line is a process where the penciler draws it in pencil, they scan it, they email it out to the inker, who then prints it out in non-photographic blue on Strathmore paper, and then they ink it, and that is what's scanned and used for publication. It is actually the only original art that was used for publish. The pencils are not the original art for the book. The blue line is the original art that was used for publication. Because if there's any changes that need to be made, the changes are made in the blue line. Additional details are added in the blue line. Structural defects are corrected in the blue line. So that's what a blue line is. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry, my voice is getting hoarse. Anyhow, going forward next. The next piece we got here is OA24, I think. What's the next we got, Colin? It's OA24? OA24. Over pencils is better, but Marvel, the difference is a lot of people are down on blue lines, but the big difference is a blue line is the original art used for publication. The pencils are not. Either way, whatever the inks are on is the original piece used for publication. So that's the advantage that a blue line has over straight pencils. But original pencils over inks is obviously better. Anyhow, 0824, Dan Green, Scott Eaton, Future's End, issued 19, page 1 for $150. This is going to be a really, really nice page. Again, details in the backgrounds are lost, but look at that first panel. That looks like the Hoover Building in Washington. Beautiful, beautiful details. Danny's inking is just amazing, and Dan Green's inking is just amazing. Two of them are just some of the best inkers ever. Next, we got 0825, same book, same title, issue 35, page 16 for $150. And look at that Joker who laughs, or Batman who laughs, whatever they call him. He actually, in this storyline, Batman and the Joker have melded into one body. So it's a pretty cool page. Oh, by the way, Jay, if you're watching, the artwork went out. I did remember to put a portfolio in there for you. So your page is inside the portfolio when Amy gets the box. Anyhow, 0825 is $150. So we'll go on to 0826. This is Alberto Ponticelli and Dan Green, Dial H, issue 11, page 17. And that is $150 as well. This is direct inks over pencils on this page. So that is 0826. 0827 is Travis Moore and Dan Green, original inks over pencils. This is in the backup story from issue 10, page 27. This is a 15-year-old page. It's $150. Anybody have any more questions? Anybody want me to slow down? Anybody want to see something that we've gone too fast for? Please let us know. If you like a lot of buildings, that page would have been nice for you, Kyle. Anyhow, next we got 0828, Eddie Barrows, Danny Mickey, Action Comics 1069, page 4. And again, look at the use of negative space in there in that bottom left portion of the panel. That is gorgeous. Some of these pages, I like them just for the art style, not necessarily the content of the page, and just the artwork on it as well. Anyhow, next we got 0829, same issue, 2 pages later. Issue 1069, page 6, which is also a gray line. Eddie Bauer's pencils, Danny Mickey's blue line, gray line inks. And this one is $150. Next, we got 0830, same title, Detective Comics, 1071, page 10. Again, beautiful, beautiful detail in here. Lots of action. This is issue 1071, page 10. This one is also $150. You notice the theme, we're in all the $150 page range. Next, we've got 0831. No Judge Dredd stuff. Sorry. Oh, 0834. That's for Kyle. Is that for you? 0824. It's Kyle. All right, Kyle, let's put aside for you. You got it. Okay, next is 0831. Ivan Reyes, Danny Mickey, Detective 1072, page 3. Happy New Year. We get New Year's in Gotham City. Since we have 2 New Year's pages in the show tonight. We figured since it was New Year's, we could put some New Year's. But again, look at all the details that Danny put. This is not, the background is not Zipatone. That is all hand-drawn detail in the background. Just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, thank you. Take me off the picture. Look at the details in that. Look at all that detail. That is gorgeous. There are not a lot of inkers that can make that look like that. There are very few in the industry, I think, that can make pages look that detailed and that nice. That looks like a photograph. You know, a black and white, an old style black and white photograph. But that is just absolutely a gorgeous page. I love that page. And again, as you wrote, only $150 for that page. You know, that is a steal for that page. It's a half-page splash for $150. You know, and it's super detailed one at that. But look at all the details on this page. You know, so anywho, moving along. Next page up. We got, there we go. We got 0832, Marco Castiello, Danny Mickey, Hawkman. There's a gray line. $150, issue 25, page 12. No extra zeros. That's just cents. Oh, yeah, it's an extra zero. There's 3 zeros. It's not $150,000, I promise. $150,000, you get a Rolls Royce with it too.
We're not charging any fractional pennies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Anyhow, so that's 0832. That is our last $150 page. Next, we got 0833. This one has a ginormous price increase to $160. But looking at it, Nick, I thought Nick would like this page. Nice flash page. That is a really nice flash page. It's only $160. So, Nikki, you still watching? Yeah, you got a nice Barry Allen flash page here for $160 from Dial H. Excuse me. 0834 is next. Nice back. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Too much root beer. Sorry. 0834. Jesus Marino, Dan Green. This is a blue line of OMAC, our one-man Army Corps. It's one of Keith Giffin's favorite characters to draw. Yes, Kyle, it is absolutely worth the burps. I love that. This is a diet root beer, no less. Issue 5, page 8. Again, we're starting to go up in price now. We're starting to range the next 5 or 6 pieces in the $200 range. This is 0834. Next, we got 0835, Futures End, issue 12, page 1. Also a blue line. Again, look at that. Half-page splash at the top. Look at that shot. It's only $200 for that page. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous page. Ever try any root beer floats? I used to when I was younger. I used to have a root beer float. My dad used to make them for me. Anyhow, 0835. Next is 0836. It's Futures End with Scott Eaton and Dan Green. It's a blue line. Futures End, issue 41, page 8. It's a nice Batman page. And Mr. Terrific page. That is $200. Yeah. Oh, Nick, there he is. Nick, you didn't comment. Did you look at the flash page, Nikki? Anyhow, this is OA36 for $200. Next, we got OA37. That was it. These mystery pages seem to have a lot of upside. Yep. Issue 38 is Alberto Ponticelli, Dan Green. This is inks over pencils. Nikki, look at this flash page. This is original inks over pencils. Issue page 37, OA37 rather. Direct inks over pencils, half page splash of the flash running straight at you for $250. Again, for half page splash. That's cheap. But also, again, look at that bottom left corner of the panel. That's also noodling to the epic level. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous page for the price. There's actually a steal for the price. This page is marked $550. So this is half off on this page. Excuse me 1 second and take the last of it. The last of my drink. No more. Okay. Oh, that was a typo. That's OA37.
This is the flash page he was talking about.
Yeah. OA38 is Detective Comics 1067, page 18. That is Ivan Reyes and Danny. There it is. 1067, page 18. That is a gray line for $250. I just went to dinner, kids. And okay. Corey, funny, Preparation H. I'll tell you a quick, funny Preparation H joke. In my family business, I was in the pet industry, and we used to sell a heart diet called H Diet. H stood for heart. Each one's letter. C was cat diet. They had all different letters. And a woman came into the store, and she came in and asked my father for 30 cases of Preparation H, which you can imagine the laughter that came out of everybody that was working by the cash and standing by the cash register. Anyhow, going forward. Okay, issue OA39, Ivan Reyes, Danny Mickey, Batman One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul. Issue 1, page 9. It is a gray line. Again, look at the detail. This is so Neil Adams-esque. This is so much in the flavor of Neil Adams-esque. Actually, I showed this to Joel Adams, and he even, Neil's son, and he even says, "Wow, so Ivan is really channeling his dad on this page." It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. It looks a lot better in person than it does. As nice as it looks in the scan, you can see much clearer detail, especially in Ra's al Ghul's cloak. When you see it in person, it's just beautiful. These One Bad Day pages are just too nice not to be in somebody's home. As Nick said, it's beautiful. Somebody please claim these pages. There's only 2 pages from the book, but they are gorgeous. Next, we got OA40. Again, look at the detail in that, and look how much in that middle right panel. Tell me that Kyle took 1 page, Nick, and that was it. This is very, very much in the Neil Adams family, and this one's $325. Again, super gorgeous details, and again, this one is $200 off the regular page. This was $525. Anyhow, that's as far as that goes. I wish someone would claim some of these, because these are gorgeous pieces, and I went out of the way to lower the prices on these for everybody. So if it's New Year's, everybody's paying off their holiday gifts. That's why I tried to lower this. And OA41 is next. Robson Rocha, Dan Green, Earth 2 World's End. It's a blue line, issue 23, page 8. A full page splash for $450. I mean, that is also half price. This was $900. Got a full page splash of Mira getting her ass kicked. That is, a splash page for $450 is pretty close to unheard of. So it's beautiful stuff from an artist that has passed away. Great stuff. Next is OA42. I should tell you, I was going to say, Take Me Off. This is actually sewn together by the great Scott Hanna. Put the 2 pages together. It's a 2-page spread for only $450. Detective issue 1071, pages 2 and 3. It's a 2-page spread. of Ivan Reyes and Danny Mickey, Detective Comics 1070, issue 1071. Again, gorgeous 2-page spread. All right, next we're on to a new artist from South Korea. His name is Gangto Lee. He is a protege of Bob Layton's. Bob has been teaching him how to ink. And he's actually just appeared at the Japan Comic Con, and his samples were shown to CB Cebulski, who loves his work. And you'll be seeing Gangto will be doing work for Marvel very shortly. His stuff is absolutely gorgeous. It's pencils, inks, and colors. Actually, we have this for 500. Let's drop this to 400 for tonight. If anybody wants to take this tonight, we can do this one. We'll do this one for 400. I'd love to get some sales for Gangto. His stuff is absolutely gorgeous. Next we got up is Bane, Getting Ready for Action. This one is also marked 500. This one is 11 by 17. And this one is, actually, I think this one's 9 by 12, I think. Hang on a minute. We have 2 Banes. Let me see if that's the left. No, this one's actually 9 by 12. That's a typo that I made. This one's actually 9 by 12. But we'll drop the price in this one down to 400. So I'm hoping that somebody will jump on one of these Gangto pieces. No Jim Lee Batman, although if you contact Bob Layton, bob@boblayton.com, excuse me again, Jim Lee just appeared at our mutual friend Sir Joey Cronin's store in South Korea. Jim Lee was there yesterday, and they do a drink and draw, and the signing that's I can show you if I have my phone handy. They do a drink and draw, and all the pieces are auctioned off for charity. The piece that when he was there, Jim did a Batman piece, which is absolutely gorgeous. Hang on, let me see if I can get the piece. I'll show you. Here we go. Scroll down. Here we go. This is the piece that Jim just did for. It's gonna be auctioned off for charity. He just did that. So contact Bob at boblayton.com. And he can give you a link to where they'll be selling. All this stuff goes to charity. They've been doing for children's charities and mostly animal charities for rescuing animals in that area. It's gorgeous. But that piece from Jim was absolutely gorgeous as well. He did that. They said Bob said to me, he goes, the people standing around like this, just watching. If you learned how quickly Jim did that, it would kill you. How fast he drew it, as detailed as that is. Absolutely gorgeous. Anyhow, the next one going forward is Two-Face, is OA45. This one is 11 by 17, also by Gangto Lee. We'll drop this one down to 400 as well. I said I want to sell these pieces. This is just a beautiful, beautiful piece. Next, we got OA46. This one's 9 by 12. It's not 11 by 17. This is a screw up as well. It's 9 by 12. This one also will drop down to $400. These are This is not gray line or blue line. This is pencils, inks, and colors by Gangto Lee, soon to be a popular artist working for Marvel. His stuff is beautiful. Next, in light of the Avengers movie coming out, OA47, Dr. Doom sitting on his throne, which has an entirely different meaning if you watch All in a Family. Anyhow, this one is marked 550. Again, I'll drop this one down. I said I want to sell these for Gangto. I'll drop this one down to 400 as well. But that is a beautiful, beautiful. If you're a Dr. Doom fan, there's an 11 by 17 pinup of Dr. Doom for $400 for pencil, ink, and color. I don't know most any people you could do it at that price. Next, we've got Starfire. What a killer Starfire piece. An absolutely killer Starfire piece. This one is $650. This one I can drop down to $500 if somebody wants to do it on that piece. Now, next, coming up is Jamie. Jamie, you still here? If you're here, say hello, please. This piece is Jim Starlin and Jamie Jameson. Jamie is actually, for anybody who's a fan of Star, Jamie is the reason that Jim Starlin started drawing again. Jim had a massive injury to his hand, and Jamie, I would say, harassed him into doing a Dr. Doom for her because she has a wall of doom. And she convinced Jim to do a Dr. Doom for her, and he discovered that he could draw again. Jim has done 5 graphic novels. Jim was doing commissions. He is not doing them any longer. He is, from going forward, he is only going to be drawing what he likes. He's just going to randomly draw characters, and whatever he draws, he'll have random people inking them. And they are what they are, and that's it. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, he did it in Steve Ditko style. This is $3,500. Next up, in OA 50, again, inked by Jamie Jameson. This is $3,500. It's Thanos holding the Tesseract, wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. Again, if you're a Thanos fan, you will not be able to get Jim Starlin doing them anymore. He does not sketch at conventions. So if you ever wanted a Jim Starlin Thanos, now's your chance. This one's $3,500 also. These are pencils and original inks. These are not blue line or gray line, anything of that nature. Anyhow, that's again Thanos with the Tesseract for $3,500, OA 50. And then last, the character Jim Starlin is most known for, Captain Marvel, my favorite character of Jim Starlin's ever. I actually, to show you what an idiot I am with original art, from the Death of Marvel graphic novel, I own the last 4 pages of the book where Marvel actually dies and where Mentor says he's gone. And like an idiot, I gave them to Ron Lim for his 30th birthday. And Ron has them framing up in his living room. And it's like, if you only realized how much they're worth today. But anyhow, this is Jamie Jameson, Jim Starlin, pencils and inks, not blue line. It's inks directly over Jim's pencils. 11x17 Captain Marvel flying, signed by both Starlin and Jamie. And this one is $3,500. Again, if you're a fan of his work, last chance to be getting something that this detailed, unless he decides to do, but he doesn't. Are they blank now? What do you mean, are they blank now, Marcus? I don't understand what you mean by that. What do you mean by are they blank now? Okay, well, while I'm waiting for Marcus to answer that. Next, OA 52. I have one Starlin page. It's one of 3 pieces I'll never sell. There we go. Here we go. John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, issue 11, pages 4 and 5. This is direct inks over pencils. This is not blue line. John Romita Jr. This is signed by this. I'm sorry. This is a blue line. I'm sorry. This is a blue line. This is issue 11, pages 4 and 5. It's signed by JR and by Scott. This is $4,000. Let me check. I don't know if that's a blue line. I think that's a mistake. Give me a second. Let me pull this out. I don't think it's a blue line. Okay, that's a mistake. This is not a blue line. This is inks directly over pencils. This is not a blue line. That's a mistake. Here's the original right here. This is not a blue line. This is direct inks over pencils. We got that piece for $4,000 for a 2-page John Romita Jr. spread. That is a deal. Actually, and for the show, because we haven't sold anything, I want to sell something. I'll reduce this piece to $3,500 if somebody wants to take it tonight. Anyhow, that's that. Next, OA 53. Warlock defeated, and if you look around on this piece, on the ground, it's all of his costumes and all pieces of his costumes lying on the ground. And you get to have Warlock naked, just what you always wanted, with the Magus looking down on him. This is Joe Rubenstein inks over Starlin. This is $4,500 for this piece. These are not, back then, Marcus, they were done in markers. This is done with regular indie inks. This is Joe Rubenstein's inks for $4,500. Next, we got OA 54. This is Jared Jr., Scott Hanna, Daredevil number 22 cover, signed by both of them. As you can see, it is a blue line. John was in Italy when he penciled this piece at Lucca. So this piece is $5,000. Again, this one I'll drop down to $4,500. If somebody wants to take this tonight. So that's a beautiful piece as well. Anyhow, next we got OA 55. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue 16 cover. This is a blue line. Again, this one I'll reduce this one down to $4,500 as well. It says $5,000. I want to sell something tonight, so I'm doing what I normally don't drop prices, but I'm doing this because people are not buying. So come on, people, buy something, please. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Next, this is Jim Starlin Defenders. This is Jim's pencils. Joel Adams inks. That's Neil's son, two-time Emmy winner for his designs of what the heck is the program he designed? Not Family Guy. Can't think of a cartoon, a famous cartoon. I can't think of it. Father something or other. I can't think of the name. Anyhow, Joel won 2 Emmys. Anyhow, this one's $7,500. You got the whole Defenders team in here. American Dad. Thank you. I had a total brain dead. And it was something to do with a father. Joel won 2 Emmys he designed all the characters, all the King of the Hill. That's it. No, that's it. King of the Hill. Sorry, you're correct. King of the Hill. I got my head up my ass tonight. I'm sorry. Anyhow, this is a gorgeous piece, and again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. That is a steal. Jim's price per character now is going to be about $2,000 to $3,000 a character. So this is at his new price is about at least a $10,000 to $15,000 piece. Anyhow, so that is the Defenders piece. Next, one of the characters Jim created, Superman fighting Mongol. And if you noticed, which I pointed out to Jim, which he laughed, he didn't realize laughter was inked. It's Superman kneeing Mongol in the nuts. Anyhow, this is penciled by Jim. It's 11 by 17, inked by Joe Rubenstein. This one is $9,000. You got Superman, you got Starman, you got you got Mongol, you got Supergirl. So you got multiple figures in this one. This one is gorgeous. Next, we've got another Joe Rubenstein piece. Warlock and everybody he's known for. So you got a gorgeous piece here. You got Annihilus, you got Thanos, you got the Hulk, you got Star Fox, you got Mephisto, you got Pip the Troll, and Warlock as well. I don't know who who the guy with the big hair is, but it could be Blastar, I think. Anyhow, DC Comics presents 29. That is correct, Nick. Anyhow, this one I can lower to 9,000. That doesn't sound cheap, but I have a little bit of leeway on that. The next 2 pieces are absolutely killer. If you notice, they actually connect, even though they're 2 separate pieces of art. Show the next piece, Cal. Go back and forth real quick. Show them. The 2 of them, it's rather expensive, but you got the Avengers versus the Justice League. They're separate pieces, but if you buy them both, you can frame them together. Designed to be Avengers versus the JLA. This is Justice League United. This is $10,000. And how many Justice League members? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, change the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 figures on that piece. Pencils and ink by Starlin and Joe Rubenstein for $10,000. And then last but not least, you got the Avengers assembled. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 characters on it. 11 by 17 for the Avengers. And that's $10,000 as well. Anyhow, if somebody wants to make a counter offer, Jim will listen to it. But don't make me an idiotic counter offer. I had a guy last time, I had a piece that was $5,000. He offered me $1,500. That's insulting. Generally, counter offers we consider as long as they're realistic. But ridiculous ones will not even be brought to the artist. I had one that I did it 2 years ago. I had a piece with $15,000. The guy offered $600, which was insulting to the artist. Anyhow, that's everything. Would anybody like to see anything again? Anybody want to make any OA purchases? Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to make any counter offers? Anyway, Kyle, how many people do we have in a room right now? Rooms. Or Jay, either or.
Looks like 40.
40, cool. That's good. That makes me happy. I did a show the other week that there was like 12 people watching. It's like, that's what you get for doing a show the night before Christmas. It was like, felt stupid. I ended the show after 10 minutes. Like, this is a waste of time. Anyhow, does anybody want to see anything else? Anybody have any questions? There you go, to put together. There you go. Can you show the JSA pages again? Okie dokie. Nicholas, those are OA8, Kyle, OA8, OA9, and there's one more somewhere. Hold on. OA8, OA9, and OA27. 8, 9, and 27. There's 8. Let's go. There's 9. Then we got 0827. These are all good price, very good pricing. Hey, Mike Asbill, how are you? And 0843, Mike Asbill is asking for 0843. There we go. Mike, and that piece is 400. I lowered it from 500 down to 400. If you're interested, just let me know. Just make a claim by the item number. Same Nicholas, the same thing. If you'd like any of the JSA pages, just let me know, and they will be yours. All right. I don't know what type of delays people have here, so I don't want to jump away while they're still thinking. Nicholas or Mike, either one of you would like to purchase one, let me know. I have no idea how long the delay is, so I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't know how long the delay is.
It's about 7 or 8 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Some of my other shows, I've had a 30-second delay. So, any hoodle. That's it. They're nice pieces. They're definitely nice pieces. Anyhow, that is the story for everything I got for tonight. I'm going to be I do have one piece actually here I can bring on. It is not signed. Oh, hold on, let me pull it out of this folder. This is 8.5 by 11. This is from the estate of John Cassaday, the Pied Piper. This is a design sketch, the Pied Piper. This would be $400. It's from John Cassaday's estate. So if anybody's interested in that piece is for sale. That is $400 for that piece. So anyhow, that's one thing if anybody is interested. So that's just make that JC1 if somebody wants to buy it. Anyhoodle, I think that's everything. I can't think of anything. I don't have anything else I can show you tonight. I think that's that's pretty much everything I can show that I've got prepared. I know what to talk about. Nick and I are going to talk about. We do have Nick. Are you still watching? Please let me know if you're still watching. He's not responding, so I don't know if he's still watching. We're going to be offering Walt sign. Yep, he is here. Nick, you can tell me what the price is. Hang on one second. I'm going to send you a text real quick. We're going to be offering signed comics from Walt Simonson. Nick, take a look at the text I just sent you, and you can tell everybody how much the cost will be. I don't know what the cost will be. And we can also, Nick can offer CGC slabbing as well through one of the facilitators that he works with or himself. I don't know if Nick's a facilitator. But Nick, you can post a price. The books will have to be sent in to Dynamite. You write on the box, Simonson. Just write Simonson on the box so that they know. But they must be already prepared in the window envelopes. so that Walt doesn't have to be pulling him out of top loaders. So Nick, what is the price that you'll be charging? So if anybody wants to get Walt Simonson books and doesn't want to wait in line for 2 hours at a convention, it'll be $50 for signed books. There we go. Those are $50 for Walt Simonson books, and I will be the witness, which I am a CGC witness. I'll be bringing him up to Walt's house directly and personally. 2 likes to 40 all. Why? Oh, okay. I would do a like, but I can't, Nick. Sorry. Anyhow. So if anybody, as I said, if anybody wants, Nick, do you want to post up the address where they should send the books? There's no maximum number of books that you can send in, as long as you make the arrangements with Nick, and with Amy I guess you fill out the paperwork and say how many you're going to send in. I guess, Nick, you should post the address, or Kyle's, one of you post the address where people should send the books in. We also, at the exact same price, we'll give more information this coming week. Okay, we'll also be doing a signing with Mark Bagley for the same price, and we'll also be doing a signing with Jim Starlin. All 3 of those people for the same price. So if you want Starlin, Bagley, or Walt Simonson, or Louise Simonson for that matter, since they live in the same house. Any of those information, you can send them in. They'll be signed. They can be slabbed if you want them slabbed, etc. But those are the first of many offerings we'll be doing, of offering send-ins for books to be signed. So that's the story. Nick said they'll be providing more information, in somewhere during the week. I don't know where. Nick, where will the information be available? On next week's show or on your website? I'll be sending books in, fill out from here. There we go. If you're sending books in, here you go.
We'll put out an email from the EXP with all the details.
Okay.
With our whole mailing list. So if you're not a member of the EXP mailing list, join that and then be here for next week's show, because Nick will probably have the actual correct details next week, because I'm sure my email will be wrong.
Anything can be sent. If you want to send Funko Pops in, don't send the pop, just send the flat box. But anything can be sent that can be signed on. And just so you know, in the case of Starlin, he cannot sign anything with metallic pens. He's allergic to them. I was with him at a con. He almost died at a con. A guy lied and said it's not a metallic paint pen. The solvent that's in it almost killed him. We had to give him. Thankfully, somebody was there and an EpiPen. Thankfully, or Jim would have died. Jim's throat swelled up. It looked like a bullfrog. There was no neck. It was just like this down to his throat. It swelled up so much. He almost died thanks to a son of a bitch fan that lied to him. But anyhow, so we got Starlin, Bagley, and Walt Louise Simonson. So Nick will provide that. We'll put it out to the mailing list, as well as it'll be on next week's show as well. So we're gonna be offering many signings coming up over the next 6 to 8 months. I can tell you we will have Colleen Doran signing. We will have Dan Jurgens signing. We will have Joe Kelly signing, from Deadpool fame, who's currently writing Amazing Spider-Man. We'll have Scott Hanna signing. Trying to think. Actually, here, I'll just read your names real fast since we have a couple of minutes to kill. We will have. Let's see. We'll have Al Milgram signing, John Bogdanoff, Steve Epting. We will have later this year. I don't have a date yet. We'll have Brian Bolland signing sometime, but Brian will be much more expensive because we will have Mike Zeck. No Mazzucchelli, Marcus. Sorry, David does not believe in signing books. He will, but David hasn't done a signing in 10 years, 15 years. He did one years ago as a charity fundraiser, and that was over a decade ago. And that was the last time I remember him signing a book. He doesn't really like signing books. David fancies himself a school teacher, a school teacher who draws comic books. He's not a comic book artist. He's a school teacher. I wish I could get him to sign. I could make a fortune if I got David to sign books. But anyhow, we have got so many people lined up, just oogles of people. I'm trying to find my list here. Just give me a couple seconds and I will read you from the list. The list. Dun, 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 dun. Where the heck is it? My folder is out of order. Forgive me. Here it is. Here we go. Okay, we will have Mark Bagley. We will have Chris Bautista, John Beatty, most likely Simon Bisley, John Bogdanoff, Brian Bolland, Brett Booth, Jim Valentino, I know, Mike Carlin, Sean Chen, DG Chichester, Will Conrad, Mike DiCarlo, JMD Mateus, Dan DiDio, Colleen Doran, Kieran Dwyer, Steve Englehart, Steve Epting, Stephen Grant, Bob Greenberger, Larry Hama, Scott Hanna, Jamie Jameson, Nicole Jelinek, Dan Jurgens, Joe Kelly, let's see here, Jim Kruger, Adam Kubert, Greg Land, Mike Zeck, Jay Lee, Ron Lim, Ralph Macchio, not the Karate Kid, the editor, Spider-Man writer, Kevin McGuire, let's see here, Marat Michaels, Danny Mickey, Al Milgram, Rags Morales, let's see here, we got Ann Nocenti, let's see here, Tom Rainey, Norm Ratman, Joe Rubenstein, Walt Louis Simonson, which we said, Alex Sinclair, Jim Starlin, I said, Joe Staten, Billy Tan, Ben Templesmith, Billy Tucci, Jim Valentino, who I said, Scott Williams, and Marv Wolfman. So that's all over the course of this year. And they will come with a COA of some sort. Yes, they will. But that gives an awful lot of people. I'm going to be adding more people to that list over the course of this year. I'm also going to be working with a couple of celebrities. I'm working on, I'll have spacing her name, Melissa Benoist, who is Supergirl, Tyler Main, who is Sabretooth, who's also Michael Myers. And I'm working with setting with their agent with a whole bunch of the Avengers actors. I can tell you, I know for a fact, was I would say my character, Falcon, War Machine, Vision, and there was one other. I can't remember who the other one. Oh, and Winter Soldier. We're working on those. None of those are guaranteed. We're negotiating on those for later this year. So there'll be lots of signing opportunities will be offered through the experience. So anyhow, I've rambled now for a while, but to give you an idea of things to come, want to let you guys know of the things I'm setting up for you guys for this year. Marcus, can who sign your report card? Mazzucchelli? Only if you're his student. If you're a student at the art school, yes, he will sign your report card. Anyhow, that is everything for tonight, folks. I can't think of anything else unless, Nick, you have something else you want me to talk about. I think that wraps our show for tonight.
Stay tuned for Nancy's show in about 30 seconds.
There we go. Take care. Have a great night, everybody. Be well. If you have any questions, you want to email me at spencerbck@aol.com. If you have any interest, again, spencerbck@aol.com. If you have any questions or want to order anything after the show is over. All right. Take care. Good night and Happy New Year to everybody.